Hey everyone, we just wanted to provide an update today. We're not sure exactly whether there's going to be a lesson or a theme, but literally just check in around how we're feeling, where our lives are at, and see what emerges.
Yep.
We haven't done this before, have we?
No.
So we're just going to give
improv.
It a crack.
Here we go.
So to set the scene, phase one, if you're listening to the recent podcast, go back and listen to all the season 1 ones, because you'll be on the journey around understanding where we've come from, dealing with grief, dealing with things changing in our lives, and how we have found ourselves through that process. And then season 2 it's a different time in our lives. It feels to me like it's a time in my life for me to be out in the world and to be now of service to people. And I do that mostly through my work. I do that with my family. I do that with my friends. I do that with all the people I interact with. So I feel a pull towards that. And the thing I'm conscious of, which I was talking to Kevin a little bit about before, was as I feel that pull and a little bit of the push within myself to be out more in the world, working more, living life, I don't want to brush over the being part of life, the awareness part of life, the consciousness of who I am and who I'm becoming. I don't think I am, but I want to be really mindful as I go through this phase of my life that I'm not being ignorant and I'm not shutting anything off. And I don't feel fearful about that. I just want to be conscious of that. Like, I don't feel fearful that's actually going to happen. Because I think the more you do, the more likely it is to happen. I feel really confident that there's a great life ahead of me, but I also want to be self-aware as I do it, I think.
Yeah, that's while we were talking before, awareness has come up and it keeps coming up. It's it just, for me this week in particular, there's been things that have come up that have made me really aware about the way that I reacted to them, in a good way, because it's a different reaction to what it was, but it's just in the moment you actually being aware. It's almost like you're looking at yourself all the time, and you're not judging, but you are aware of what's going on. And it's like, oh, okay, so in this instance that this happened and was a good thing. I didn't get upset about the ongoing conversations that I had with the manufacturer. I just let that go. And it's like, oh, this feels good. It's so much nicer to be like this, so much easier. So that's been coming out for me. And then also just anchoring back to values has come up a lot again. Or continues to come up, but this week there's I've probably spent more time thinking and talking about values, my values, and how that's aligning to the way of my way of being, and what that actually means. And in all of that, that's freed me up to investigate it, to go to the awareness of, well, okay, I don't know much about this part or that part. Let me go and find out something. I was. And strangely enough, there was an Eckhart Tolle podcast just came up, and it's about values and being. Right. And it's like, oh, I haven't had the chance to get to that yet, but it's like, oh, that showed itself to me this week. It was interesting.
You meant to listen to that one.
Yeah.
Just basically what you said. I think that awareness piece is super strong, and what it reminds me of is, I wasn't conscious of this week, but what I've been really conscious of is any time that I'm reactive to anything out in the world, anytime I notice myself trying to push against something, or, going, oh, this shouldn't be, or whatever, because I'm now very conscious that the thing that who I am and how I'm responding and how I feel inside is the thing I need to cultivate the most. Like, it's primary. I think that's what I learned in season 1. And you always have a choice around how you're being within you. and that can be in. And the thing I've learned is the mind part of me used to get caught up in the story. Well, they've fucking done this, they've done that, they've done this thing, so that. And then that mind creates the emotional response, and then suddenly you're in, and then that emotional response then creates more mind, and then suddenly you're in this loop within yourself. And I'm like, you have got ultimate choice around your being, and in every moment, and that's the thing that I'm now really conscious of. And so a good example of that last week was in a relationship. I had someone describe me in a way that was quite a negative interpretation of, someone I care about sort of gave me a fairly negative interpretation of where I'm at in my life and didn't see the positive aspects of me. And instead of, in the old me might have been defensive, either been defensive or played the victim, like just gone, how dare you, or gone, oh, poor me.
Yeah.
It was like, I went back to them and said, I don't feel that way about myself. I think I'm incredible. I think I'm caring. I think I'm amazing. And that's all I left it. I didn't even comment on what they'd said. Yeah. I just was like, the thing I'm going to protect the most is my being.
Yeah.
Right. If I allow the outside world to impact this, then it just doesn't feel right to me anymore, because I know within me that how I am inside creates how I see the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to allow anyone else to take that away from you. I don't know whether that's naive. I don't think it is.
I don't think it may be delusional.
I'm happily delusional.
No, but at the same time,
are you saying I'm not amazing?
Wasn't me, by the way. Was it?
No, it wasn't you.
No, what was coming up there for me was that the way that I react to that, I might not be vocal about it, but I would look inwards and see what lesson I should be learning from that. And I'm not saying that I agree with the comment or whatever, but it's like, okay, what internally for me gave out that signal that was happening, or is it just an external thing? So
yeah, I think it's an interesting tension, this one. I don't think that was anything to learn. I think it was just someone's stuff being played back to me that I'm not willing to take on. Right? Like you can think that way, but this is how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like
no, I understand, and I would be in the same place. I would end up in the same place, but just a different way to get there. Yeah. I wouldn't automatically say, well, that person must be right, therefore something wrong with me. I would say, is there something I could learn from this? If not, well, let it go. It's not my problem that someone else thinks like that of me.
Yeah. I mean,
so same different process to get to the same space.
It is. Yeah, and I relate to your process too. I think that's how we spent most of last year.
Yeah.
Right. Was learning to go inside and process all this stuff positively and constructively.
Yeah. And what I'm finding now is that has happened automatically.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And now
that's the real I don't even know what the word is. It's the real relief, I guess, in a way. But that's wow. I can do both of these things. I can have the conversation and be analyzing and choosing to change my response. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm now so conscious of the awareness I've got inside and how that feels, that I can feel when someone is of a lower frequency and are trying to bring me down to that lower frequency. And what I would rather do is I accept it, I can see it, I can feel it, but I'm not going to be it for you. I'm not going there. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
And this is who I'm being and what I want to be. And it's fine for them to be there. That's not a judgment or anything, but it's not where I am.
I've had exactly those conversations this week and I've noticed them more. I've been more aware of them. It's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I don't feel that way.
No.
And I'll own that.
Yeah.
And I'll say that out loud for sure. It's like, that's not how I feel. Yeah. And that's me. And it's not a judgment on you either. Yeah. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, I think it is. So I think, and probably the lesson for me, for whoever's listening, is be mindful of the people around you, because people will make judgments. They will, usually to do with their own challenges and trauma, they'll say things a certain way, or they'll say things to you. And you always have a choice about your own being and your own response. And like, my response is almost the point of denial. You don't have to deny it. You can do Kevin's response, which is to learn from it. You can
do your own response, but there's more than one way to do it.
There is, of course, but either way, it's returning to that point of the frequency that you want to be operating at. Yeah,
and just having that internal fortitude, if you want to call it, like the old-fashioned word.
Yeah. Well, and to know that that's the most important thing that you need to protect is your inner being.
Yeah.
Like, all of that will keep changing. The outside world will keep changing and challenging and moving, and expansion is its nature. Change is its nature.
Yeah.
But you actually have a way of protecting is probably the wrong word, of building and creating your inner being, which is what we're here for.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything you'd add to that?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, we almost filled 12 minutes when we didn't even know what we were going to say. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, until next time.
Take care.
Talk soon.
See you.